What's up, everybody? Ryan Thomas here, host of the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. You're tuning in my podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. I've loved all the support that I've received. The podcast is doing better than ever. Trainwrecksports.com. Trainwreck Sports is taking the Thomas Take to the next level, and I could not be more thankful to have joined up with these fine gentlemen. Trainwrecksports.com. Check out the site. Check out their Instagram, Trainwreck Sports. Check out their Twitter at Trainwreck Sports. They're so popular that you can only type in half of it and it'll pop right up. So you type in train and the Trainwreck SPRTS, I believe, is their Twitter handle. And I love all the interaction that I've received from the viewers and listeners on Twitter, viewers and listeners on Instagram, viewers and listeners via email. I greatly appreciate it. And let's get going. So just wrapped up part one of today's show. Did a little bit of a longer episode for part one. Talked a little bit longer in part one in regards to Nate Diaz. The Stockton Slugger makes his return to the UFC after a 3-year hiatus. He will be back inside the octagon this Saturday night as he takes on Anthony Showtime Pettis. Big things will happen in that fight. Blood flying into the front row. Teeth knocked into the smithereens. Jaws will be broken. I'm expecting this fight to be an all-out war, potentially a fight of the year candidate. I said that on the Trainwreck Sports Instagram. I'm saying it again. I'll say it until we see the fight. Hopefully the fight delivers based on my expectations on Saturday night. I think it will. So shifting gears here back to the football team that I love, the football team that you love in Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills. We are fast approaching the season. You know, we got a little bit left in August, and then the season will start in September. Obviously, this season, I've said it so many times throughout the summer, but I'll say it again. I've never been more excited for Buffalo Bills football. I cannot wait for this season to get started. I love the additions on the offensive side of the ball, the offensive line. The defense is going to be stacked. But in particular, there's an addition to this offense that was made via free agency that really got my attention, really made me smile, really made me say, oh, they finally get it. They finally get it. The coaches on this Buffalo Bills team within the organization finally understand what type of offense they need to run to help Josh Allen. And not only help Josh Allen, but the offense that they just need to run, period, with who they have and the day and age of the National Football League. And that was the signing of Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley will be a blessing to the Buffalo Bills. That is the headline, that is the title of the show, and that is the statement that I will continue to bring it home, whatever you want to say. Cole Beasley will be a blessing to Buffalo. I thought that when he was signed. I'm thinking that now that I've watched Cole Beasley line up in training camp, and I am saying it based on the fact that I know how hard of a worker Cole Beasley is on and off that field. For a guy that is listed as 5'8", 175 pounds, there are a few guys that have busted their tail over the course of their career, still standing within the NFL after 8 seasons, like Cole Beasley has. Cole Beasley has busted his tail to get to where he is today. And the story of his career is very interesting. SMU guy, went undrafted, and got the opportunity to be signed by the Dallas Cowboys. And I mean, what an honor that had to have been. I couldn't imagine the emotions of playing at SMU and being undrafted, not hearing your name get called based on your size and only your size. Only your size. It was really the only knock on Cole Beasley was his size. Not his speed, not his athleticism, and certainly not his route running ability. Those are all there. But his size was what was looked at as a detriment to his game. And I look at that in a lot of different ways. Somewhat I take it personally because Lord knows I'm barely 5'8". I'm probably the same height as Cole Beasley, to be honest. Probably 5'8", around that range. And when someone knocks you for your size, it is a personal insult. When you are an athlete and someone says, "Oh, you're small," that demeans you. That makes you feel like you're not good enough. That makes you feel like all the talent that you do have in that particular sport means nothing. Because they'll just see you as they see you. They'll just see you as small. Where Cole Beasley, there is so much about him beyond that within his game. Yes, he's small, but he's a guy that has used the God-given talent that he has had to the best of his ability. Now, Cole Beasley hasn't been one of the top 3 wide receivers in the National Football League. That's obviously not what I'm saying here. But Cole Beasley has been a reliable, serviceable receiver for multiple quarterbacks in his NFL career. Not many receivers can say that. Not many receivers that are, quote, small, as other people have said, can say that. And Tony Romo, at that time, Cole Beasley's on the come up. He's trying to really make an impression on his teammates and stuff like that. Tony Romo looked at that and said, well, this guy is far better than what people are saying he is. He deserves the opportunity to get targeted. He's getting open. He's creating space. He's a great player. I'm going to get this guy the ball. He was the safety valve for Tony Romo. He was the safety valve for Dak Prescott. And you know where I'm going with this. He will be the safety valve for Cole Beasley. For Josh Allen. Sorry. Cole Beasley will be the safety valve for Josh Allen. And I love that. That is the day and age that we live in, the slot receiver. Not just in the slot, but when you have a slot receiver that can move on the outside, can be used underneath, can be used on a reverse, can be used in so many different ways. That creates a whole new dimension to an offense that you did not have last season, the season prior to that. You did not have a smooth, efficient route runner like Cole Beasley within your offense. And I think in terms of fantasy football purposes, Cole Beasley will be somebody that I'm looking at in a deep league. I'm looking at Cole Beasley as a guy that will get tons of targets, chew up a lot of targets in that offense, and will be a guy that will be fun to watch for many, many weeks this season. Granted, as long as he stays healthy, he will be a fixture in this offense for Brian Dable, for Josh Allen, for Sean McDermott, and the entire Buffalo Bills organization. And I love the fact that you go to great lengths about talking about a player and what they've achieved. Statistically, Cole Beasley has been silently one of the most sure-handed receivers in the National Football League. Sure-handed receivers. As far as targets go, when the ball is thrown in his direction, he's catching it. It's just being honest. And I go into his career and I look at just the fact that he actually walked away from the football field and said, I don't want this. This was not what I want. But it said it was due to a personal matter. Had a change of heart. Whatever, comes back and embarks on this now 8-year career. And that was in his rookie season of 2012. 2013, he had a wonderful season. He had the highest completion percentage of any receiver in the NFL with more than 10 targets. Tony Romo threw to him often, as I said, on third down. and was used in special teams, kick return, punt return. You're not going to see these eye-popping stats from Cole Beasley. You're not going to see 1,000 yards. You're not going to see, 10 touchdowns. But you're going to see targets and you're going to see catches. Last season he had 65 catches. I'll take that any day of the week on this Buffalo Bills offense that needs a receiver that can catch the ball 65 times a season. 75 times he caught the ball in 2016 with 833 career yards and 5 touchdowns, which tied a career high that he had set the year prior in 2015. Average yards per catch is a statistic that I am looking at with Cole Beasley. 2014, 11.4 yards. 2015, 10.3 yards. 2016, 11.1. 2017, 8.7. 2018, 10.3. Those are the statistics that I look at and say, I can work with that. I like that. I want that on my team. He signed a 4-year deal with Buffalo for $29 million. And I hope he spends all 4 years here. Obviously, you know that he's 30 years old, so the quickness might go down a little bit in the next couple years. But let's just say for the next 2 years, he plays at the top of his game. Buffalo can say, hey, we've paid half of your deal. We'll definitely look towards doing what we can do to keep you around. But we know teams can structure contracts in a very unique way nowadays in comparison to what they could 5, 6, 7 years ago. So I think that I'm thankful for that. And I think a lot of NFL teams are thankful for that because it prevents these guys getting these ludicrous contracts that, someone gets hurt, someone doesn't perform up to par, they can kind of walk away from them. But I don't think Buffalo will have to do that with Cole Beasley. I think this guy, as I said, will be a blessing to Buffalo. Josh Allen needs that guy in short down and short distance or even 3rd and 10, 2nd and 10. Josh Allen needs that guy that he can just check the ball down to. Because as I've said about Josh before, it's the little things that have kind of bit Josh Allen in the butt. The ability to kind of just want to play hero ball, throw that deep ball just a little bit too much. Just a little bit too much. And that's a dynamic that I think Josh Allen has definitely worked on. And it's awesome that Buffalo has brought in the pieces to help Josh Allen work on those things. The John Browns. I think there's maybe only 2 guys that could track Josh Allen's deep ball the way that John Brown can. And I think there's only a select few slot receivers that are as much of a problem to an opposing defense the way Cole Beasley is. So you got something there. No doubt. And I actually think that as the season wears on this year, I think Cole Beasley's jersey will become more common within New Era Field, within Western New York, and I love that. I love that a 5'8", 175-pound, and that's according to NFL.com, sorry, Cole, you might be a little taller. I'm not sure about that. Probably not taller than that, but you're a baller, man. You're a baller. I'm very, very happy that you're here in Buffalo. I love the fact that you have this persona of the rap lifestyle. I've listened to some of it. I like it. I love Cole Beasley. I'm very happy that he is a Buffalo Bill because Cole Beasley is one of those players that he could have went anywhere. He really could have went anywhere. He's been a reliable slot receiver within the National Football League. Could have went to New England. Literally, New England was one of the few teams that made him an offer. I believe Tennessee was another team. They also went with Adam Humphries, who's a little bit younger, but I think they paid him a little bit more money. So with that, it's a double-edged sword. I think Cole Beasley's got 3 solid seasons left in him, potentially more than that. And I think Josh Allen will definitely reap the reward of having a slot receiver like him on the roster. Cole Beasley will be a blessing to Buffalo. I'm Ryan Thomas. That was the Thomas Take. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as trainwrecksports.com. This train never stops. Thank you so much for the support. Join the takeover, the Thomas Takeover, the Ryan Thomas Takeover. You can join it by following me on Twitter at Ryan Thomas Take, by subscribing to the Thomas Take Sports Podcast on Apple Podcasts, by following the Thomas Take Sports Podcast on Spotify. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Let's go Buffalo. Cole Beasley, you're on my fantasy football radar, buddy. Take care, everybody.